lot of new faces here, which is really awesome. So this is probably your first time coming to the 40K to 400K formula workshop. Don't get scared by those numbers. Look, it's just kind of the point we're trying to make is that we help people anywhere from starting up to getting to their first 40K month to getting anywhere to their first 400K month. So if you're anywhere in between there, then you are in the right place. Don't get a little nervous that you might be not the right fit for this, but I assure you that you will be. So a couple things I want to cover first, guys, is a couple of sorry, lag past that first one. A couple of must do's, just things I want to make sure you get the most out of today's session. So it's going to be about 60 minutes, guys. So try and put away the next 60 if you can. I know a lot of us probably have kids and things like this that are running around. No problem at all, guys. Like, do what you got to do. Family comes first, etc. But if you have to come and go, no worries. Again, just try and lock away the next 60 minutes if you can to focus. I see a lot of faces, which is really awesome. I appreciate that. So if you haven't already, try get your webcam on. We do try and do a lot of interaction. It's just nice to see faces. And lastly is, like you've already been doing, the chat function in Zoom. We're going to use that a whole lot. So I'm going to ask a lot of questions. It's going to be interactive. And of course, if you have any questions yourself, just drop them there and then I'll take you off mute once Chris McLean has notified me of the questions. A couple things I really want to crush today with you guys is going to be covering a couple main takeaways. And the first one's going to be how to actually turn browsers into buyers. And this is all about conversion rate. So what this really means is when you have a website, it's not important that you just have a website. It's important that when people come to your website, they actually end up buying from you. And basically a conversion rate is, say, out of every 100 people that come to your website, how many then actually purchase? Say if it's one person, then that's a 1% conversion rate. If it's 5 out of 100, that's a 5% conversion rate. Naturally, the higher our conversion rate is going to be, the more sales we're going to make with our website. And that's something that we really want to help you guys nail, is how to turn more browsers into buyers. The second thing is going to be to see, why things haven't worked previously for you. If you're new, that's okay. This will still be good information for you. But if you've been around for a little bit, you've probably at some point have tried running Facebook ads or worked with an agency potentially to get results, and maybe nothing happened. Maybe you just really weren't able to get the results that you wanted for whatever reason. We're going to cover a couple things on why that may be the case and how to move forward, now, like with this knowledge, to start seeing, scalability in your business. And lastly, this kind of ties in, is we want you guys to lead with a plan. So, as you probably know, obviously nothing's free. I'm going to give you a lot of information here. And as I'll talk about in a minute, I'm going to offer ways that we can help you moving forward as well to implement the information we'll go through. But regardless of whether or not you do engage with us, I want you to be able to walk away today understanding what the next steps are for your business, what you have to focus on in order to start actually growing a profitable business in Australia. So that's my volume. So a couple of questions we usually get, usually it revolves around, is this going to work for me, the stuff that we're going to teach? And it kind of breaks down into 3 subparts. It's usually, will it work in my niche? So a lot of people tend to have very interesting products that maybe other people haven't heard of. Sometimes not the case, but just so you know, if this is e-commerce, if you're selling products online, then yes, what we're going to go through does work. The only thing that we really try not to promise too much on is if it's like, say, taboo niches, for example, adult products and things like that. Those are a little bit trickier. The second one is usually, will it work at my size? Again, guys, whether you're starting or you're scaling, what we're going to teach you, it's the same stuff that when we help people scale, we implement. It's the same stuff that we teach to people who are just beginning. So it will be relevant to you no matter what the size is of your business. And is it going to work now? So this is probably the most important question you should be asking. People are out there giving information that's honestly as old as 2017. Everything that we're going to go through is tried and tested and proven every single year in a few businesses that we run inside the e-commerce circle and Insightful. So we battle test this with brands in Australia every single year, hundreds of them. So everything I teach you is directly based from those results. So yes, it works now. That should be 2026. That's obviously from last year's presentation, but it works now, guys. And that's really what the important bit is. So I want to quickly just go over, to make sure you're in the right place, guys, who this is for is going to be mainly about people who are passionate about starting an e-commerce business. Again, I'm not here to convince you to start one. I'm here to say, if you are interested in doing one and doing it properly, then this is for you, what we're going to go through. If you're either, you got a product that you love and you want to get out there, or you're just really business savvy and you want to create some extra income, this is going to be for you. Secondly, it's going to be for you guys if you really feel overwhelmed. Again, when you get into e-commerce, you can feel like you're juggling a lot of plates. We're going to try help you overcome that overwhelm by creating that solid plan. And lastly is for everyone who, let's be honest, we're here in business, and the goal in business is to make money. And we want to make sure that you're not just making money, but you're making profit that actually goes into your pocket, not just paying the ATO and your staff and the manufacturers and the ad costs, etc. at the end of the day. So obviously, I'm not Paul. Paul usually does these workshops, but we're part of Paul's team. So I'm going to give you a little bit more about why you should listen to us, not necessarily just Paul. But um, what we do, guys, is we run what's called the e-commerce circle and Insightful, our e-commerce agency. So here we actually build websites for Aussie-based e-commerce businesses, about 100 plus a year, and we also coach and mentor Aussie-based e-commerce owners on how to sustainably scale their businesses. So we work with about over 100 brands every single year just on the website side alone, let alone the coaching. So everything that we teach you guys is from years and years and current experience in helping people grow their businesses. So again, like I was saying before, what we preach is what we teach is actually what we are doing day in, day out. And it's really important for us. That's how we keep that positive feedback loop of, yes, what we're teaching is good content because it's all coming from what is working for us right now. Sorry, I'll just check the chat quickly. Okay, first time. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here, David. Awesome.
Just me chatting at the moment, mate.
Yeah,
Carry on.
no worries. All good, all good.
Just chatting to myself. Good.
No problem. So again, like these are just screenshots, guys. Make of it what you will. But look, we deal with businesses in a lot of sizes, and you'll see like the trends go up, and it's really just about implementing for us. It's really solid evergreen tactics that are repeatable in different niches, no matter what. So just an example, Steve. So he runs Holdcom. I don't think this number is updated now, but when he started with us, I think he was doing about 50K a month. This is not even recent, but I think as of last month, he did about 300K, whatever it may be. But again, for him, we implemented a high converting website that was going to turn more browsers into buyers. And then we really nailed the digital strategy from there, which was able to get him some really awesome results. And guys, like I mentioned before, we want everyone here, to be the next person that goes on one of these slides. So, of course, I am going to take this hour to give you a lot of value, but I just want, I'm going to ask for permission really that at the end of this workshop, if you enjoyed it, are you okay? I just want to yes in chat if you are. Are you okay if I share with you how we can kind of connect after to work together potentially and, see some results? If you're okay with that, just drop a yes. David, awesome. Thank you. Andrew, yes, beautiful. Anita, yes, awesome. Very good. Rick, awesome. Thank you. I love a really interactive crowd. That's awesome. If not, no worries, guys. Again, at the end, you can just leave. It's kind of, you're not held here. Of course, it's a free workshop. Luciana, yes, thank you. Great. And just something if you could share for me, guys. So this is going to help me to understand kind of the level of the audience today. And I would have chatted with you a little bit today over the phones. And I just want to make sure that I'm catering to kind of the size of the audience. So just based on this, don't be afraid if you're in the startup and there might be some grow ups here, but just share with me, if you don't mind, which phase you're in. That way, when if I do speak to you, that I know kind of roughly where we're at, and I can give you very specific help onto that kind of side of things. So testing, no worries, mate. Say startup, no worries. Don't be afraid if you startup. That's perfect. This is still a great place for you to be. Couple startups, lovely. Cool. This is just another example, guys. Paul and Delane. This is a really lovely couple, and they make kind of like protein supplements. And this is just another example of a business that came to us with a product. These guys are already in the market, and they just want to scale the business. They were doing about 8K a month already. Amanda, established, awesome. Raylene too, lovely. Adele, startup, lovely. Thank you for sharing, guys. But yeah, these guys were doing about 8 to 10K a month, and they knew they had a great product, but they're not online savvy people, and they just wanted hands-on help. Like, how do I get this business to the next level? And again, it's the same things we tackled with Steve from Holdcom. We went to the website and we made sure we optimized it so it was built to actually convert browsers into buyers. And then we ran a digital strategy for traffic to then grow that business over time. And the results kind of speak for themselves. I think there's probably another one here. Again, more results. Don't worry too much about this. This is just to say, guys, what we do when we get the results over and over and on repeat, it's because it is a system that we've developed over time. And this is why it works in different niches. But I want to kind of jump into it with you guys and bring your attention to this triangle. So this is what we call the more orders model. And I want to encourage you guys to have a couple guesses just to see who can maybe nail a couple of these. So typically there's three sides to any business, and it's not the product. I'll give you that. That's a given, having a good product. But these are the three kind of levers that you can pull to really grow a really high profitable business. And without these, you kind of won't really have a chance. And I want you guys to kind of have a guess at what they may be. What are the things that you really need to pull in order to make a successful business? What are those things that you may need? Take a couple guesses, no silly guesses. Um, Platform, that's close. Landing page platform. You're on the right track here. So we got our own word for it, but I'll give you kind of points for that. So
If you
first
jump to
one,
the next slide, Chris, you can give there'll be a bit of a hint on the next slide.
does it have just straight up? That's all right. I don't mind it. They got system. System's great, guys. Platform and landing page. I'll tell you it's store. Store is correct. So you guys are on it. Customers, lastly. I'll give you a hint. It's about how you speak about yourself. Is the third one. This is very important. We're going to touch on why that's important in a minute. But think about it, guys. What is it about your brand? Sales pitch, close. Look, honestly, that's a great guess. I'm just going to give it to you guys and put you out of your misery. Confidence, perfect too. I mean, these are all good answers. But I'll just kind of get to the end of it here. So the more orders model comes down to your store, your story, and your strategy. These three things simply. Now, I'll go through what I mean by each of these. The store, firstly, it goes back to what I mentioned before about converting browsers into buyers. This is all about your website, guys. And a lot of people really look past the importance of a website. And I'm going to give you an example of why it is so important. So I speak to a lot of people who they run markets and they do pop-ups at markets and they have products. And they do really well at these markets. And they know they want to go online, and when they create their website, they try and sell their products. It just doesn't quite go as well. And then they don't get the same traction. People don't actually buy. They don't get really any sales. And they wonder why. And we look at it, and when we look at these websites, they are always missing that exact same experience when people come to them in person and they meet them and they get to talk to them, ask them questions, kind of learn about the product, see what it's all about, even try it, sample it, see how legitimate it is before they make the informed purchase. All of that they get to do that you might not even realize they're doing in person is non-existent on the website. And a lot of the time, this is the biggest thing holding people back, is creating an actual website that is built to convert. And when you have a website that's built to convert, that has a high conversion rate, there's kind of two sides to how that is done. The first side is mechanically and structurally how the website is built. So it's not strange that the easier your website is to use and to go through, the more sales you're going to get. You got to understand that not everyone's tech savvy, not everyone has patience, and if they have to sit through clunky website experiences, naturally you're going to get less sales, and this is going to crash your conversion rate. That's the first half of it, guys. The second half is your story. I see Anita said you buy the story first. And this is absolutely true. I remember, Anita, you've already run a previous business, not e-commerce, but you've obviously got experience in this. And it's very, very true, guys. Your story is actually what is going to sell people the brand. Obviously, there are going to be some brands where someone they want a hammer and a nail. They're just going to go look for a hammer and a nail and look for maybe a price point on that. But a lot of businesses, the difference between you and another brand is going to be where you position yourself. How do you speak to your audience? Do you know who your audience is? And do you know why your audience is buying your product? And this is what we call brand messaging. If you're a small Aussie business, you got to understand in any industry you go into, it's going to be very, very saturated. And think of like fitness apparel, right? Everyone has a fitness apparel brand. And most of the time, they're the same products with different labels. So why is someone going to come buy from your brand and not theirs if it's the same, similar quality? And this is just an example of it. It all comes down to the person behind the business or the brand behind the business that they are buying from. What's the messaging? And how do we make sure that our website actually shows that messaging and gives people an idea of who we are, what we do, and why they should be buying from us? So you put this brand messaging onto a website that's actually structurally built well, and you're going to have this platform that is now built to convert. And guys, when it comes to sales, it's as simple as the amount of traffic you get times the conversion rate of your website times the average order value. So the average amount of money that someone spends on your business at any given time. That's your sales right there. And you've got to think, which levers can I pull? We're not always in a position where we can just get more traffic, spend money on more traffic. And if you're starting off, I really recommend you don't do that. You got to have a website that is built to convert. So then when you send the traffic to the website, the money that you actually spend equals sales. So for the smaller businesses who are just getting started, this is why we harp on this because conversion rate is just a massive deal. And if you don't nail it, you're going to really fail to be profitable in the long run. And that's what we're all about. And if you're a business that's already running too, then you probably understand that the higher conversion rate, the more profitable you'll be as well. But obviously, there are these different factors as well. So the last bit is just strategy, guys. And this is simply how do we sustainably grow the business over a 12-month period? We really like to break our plans into 3-month action plans and then also longer term 12-month action plans. And it's all about just really getting focused on, and we'll do this as an example today. What do I need to focus on practically? A lot of us are running the businesses by ourselves. In fact, actually, let me know in the chat if you are a one-man band or if you have a bit of a team behind me, because that does make a difference. But guys, like if you are a one-man band, it is super important that the time that we do spend, because it is limited, is going to be the most impactful stuff in our business. One woman situation, awesome, Adele, myself and wife, lovely. Those make some of the best teams that we work with. So really appreciate that. But yeah, guys, the real thing I'm getting at here is that your time is super valuable. Just yourself, Luciana. Yep. So you want to make sure when you do spend time on stuff, it's going to be the most impactful thing. Me, myself, and I so far. Yes, Andrew. All right, cool. I mean, this is the best way to really start out, guys. And honestly, we're all about building small, efficient, sustainable teams. Even as you grow to say 200 to 300K per month, we don't want you having gigantic blown out teams. We want to keep all our kind of processes and systems really, really as minute as possible and efficient because it's just going to create less of a headache for you. And honestly, guys, we want to help you build businesses around your lifestyle, not the other way around. And that's very important to do for everyone. Us both, yeah, beautiful. So a lot of partners here as a team together, a lot of people by themselves. That's awesome. So now that we got the kind of understanding of the more as model, because guys, every one of those results I showed before, and all the other ones that we have that we could show you, they're all. This is how we tackle each one of them. We tackle the story, the website, the platform, the conversion rate, and then we tackle, okay, now we've got the website that's built to convert. How are we going to get more traffic to this thing month after month to sustainably grow it and make sure that our back end processes aren't falling apart too? It's like Chris said here, it's the first thing before anything else. So we've had businesses who have come to us who, honestly, this is just an example of a dog business. They were doing about 100K a month. So it's on the higher end, and like they had a pretty bad website and a really bad ad strategy, and they weren't very profitable. We literally just 2 months fixed their website, and we'll go through examples of what that means on the website side of things as well. And then we just fixed their ads. They had a little holes in the ads, and we literally got them to 200K a month within the next month just because we fixed those holes. Sometimes these can really make and break businesses, and you just don't even know that it's there. So it's a good thing that you're here in that case. But what I want to do now is pick a business or two that you guys linked, and I'm going to apply what I've just gone through to some of these businesses so you guys can see in real time, like these are things that we can be improving in your business and what you should be focusing on to really get to that next level. So for example, let's go, I'm scrolling up to the top just so you know, guys, with a couple. Zen Clinic, I don't think you have traffic yet. I think you're still developing a product, right? So we won't do that one for now. I think it was a nice one. The Soft Standard, Andrew, I think you're there, mates. Do you mind coming off mute and we'll go through a little bit about your website and kind of see what we can do to get some growth in it?
Yeah, cool. Sounds good.
Perfect. All right. Chris, do you reckon oh no, I'll stop sharing here quickly and then I'll get up the website and share again. So in the meantime, Andrew, do you want to give a bit of a background to the business, where you're at, how's it all been going, and where you want to go essentially?
Yeah, cool. So kind of been researching, was in the research phase for about 6 to 8 months.
Yep.
Finally got my first stock order delivered mid-December,
Cool.
and launched the website just before Christmas. Um, the initial results, nothing was kind of, I had a couple of small campaigns up on Google and Facebook and saw traffic coming through, but no conversions.
Yep.
And so I spent a lot of time tweaking a lot of the website, thinking that that would help. But I think it might have just been time of year. Coming into Christmas, it's $100 product. And so as soon as Christmas was over, I'd done those website tweaks, left the campaigns running, and started getting some sales after Christmas was over. Boxing Day kind of kicked in. So yeah, the idea is to kind of we've started with three designs and we've got another six or so coming soon.
Hmm.
Just to kind of test what customers are liking, what's appealing to them. We're already starting to see where customers are more trending towards. Yeah, so just kind of still in that learning phase. We don't have huge MOQs, so we don't have to buy a lot of stock, but obviously I don't want to. I'm currently putting these in the garage, so
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to buy too much stuff. So I'm just kind of really, I've got a day job, so this is a learning phase for me. What sells? What are customers like? Are we stocking the right sizes? What kind of feedback are we getting? And just keeping it really kind of low and slow to start.
Yeah.
But my goal is to kind of get all that information over like, 3 to 6 month period and then
Mhm.
use all of that to make some big orders and start ramping up the advertising and getting some decent sales through.
Yeah, for sure. And is this the kind of thing where you do want it to become a primary focus for you, or are you just
Yeah.
you're happy that, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
I want to get out of those fluoro lights, mate. I'm so over it. Corporate life,
Yeah,
I want to be gone. Yeah.
no problem at all. All right, cool. So, I do want to address that. Yeah, around the Christmas and post Christmas, anywhere from Black Friday up until the start of Jan, it is a bit of shaky time in the market. People generally, once they've done the Christmas shopping, aren't going to be spending for a little bit, and then you'll see like after a couple of weeks, you'll start seeing an uptick in sales again. Now that people are kind of like off that hangover. But I do want to touch on a little bit there. So you mentioned that you did run some ads again afterwards, after you made those changes. Roughly, do you mind sharing how much you're spending at the moment, just so I have an idea?
Yeah, I'm spending $50 a day at the moment,
Oh, cool.
across, I said about 60 actually, across two key
Mhm.
meta campaigns. And I've stopped the
Yep.
Google ads for now, just focus on one channel at a time, kind of tweak that. And then I'll get back into the Google once I've got the Facebook coming. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And look, when it comes to like which one do I select, and it's a good move for you to, um, when you have like not the biggest budget, put it into one platform. You're gonna get the most out of it. That's absolutely fine. And when it comes to Metaverse Google, was it that you didn't really see results in Meta? Is that why you swapped over?
No, I didn't see results in Google actually. So I launched
Oh,
them
okay.
both at the same time. But then I had some issues with the Merchant Center wanting me to fix a few things. So I
Yep.
thought, well, that's a good opportunity to shut that down, focus on Meta.
Yep.
And also all the research I'd done said that, I needed to give it a few weeks to kind of optimize. And that's been my experience. Like it started off with quite a high CPO. That's actually getting better over time.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing my conversion rate kind of start to settle. They're obviously targeting the right customers now, but I
Yep.
think that's still learning. So yeah, that was the main reason I'd kind of switched over to Facebook and
Mhm.
the Google's. I've just got the email back saying that the Google Merchant Center stuff is all good now. So I'll kick that
Good.
off again later. Yeah.
Sure, that makes things a lot easier. Awesome. And what has been the conversion rate over the last couple of weeks since you were running ads at that budget after the Christmas?
So originally, I started with a links campaign, a link click campaign, and an add to cart campaign because I'd tried that previously, and that seemed to work for a much lower value product that I had,
Sure.
but that wasn't converting at all. So once I moved from that into a purchase optimized
Yep.
campaign, I started converting. And so, yeah, it's kind of been hovering around the 2.5 to 3.5% mark.
Yep.
Um, so I'm not too dissatisfied with that, given I've only got three to choose from.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, that's kind of where it's at the moment. It's starting to get quite consistent as well. I've had an order every day for the last few days, at
Yep.
least one order. So whereas when I first started, that was quite patchy. Like I'd have a day with two orders and then a day with no orders kind of thing. So
Yep.
it's kind of starting to level out, which I think is what I want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if we go back to that kind of equation of look at your sales really comes down to your traffic times your conversion rate times your average order value. We can see right now that your conversion rate is you got a decent conversion rate, like 3.5%. And when I say decent, guys, this really comes down to each product. Depending on the pricing, etc., you'll know what's profitable for you. Or if you don't, you really should figure out what you need to be profitable. So with a product like this, I'm imagining 3.5% conversion rate. It's gonna be pretty profitable for you right now. So the conversion rate's okay. And I'm going to touch on some things that we can do to really boost that because obviously the higher your conversion rate, the better your website performs. It's
Yeah,
the better off you're going to be anyway, the more profit you'll
yeah.
get from the ads. the better they perform. So
I think the one thing I'm a little worried about with the conversion rate as it is I've
yeah,
got that discount offer on at the moment.
yeah,
So
right,
compared
right,
to the competitors, it is a fairly low price point.
gotcha.
So I'm worried about what's going to happen to that conversion rate once I remove that.
Yeah,
So I'm trying to look for any optimization I can before I remove that offer. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, gotcha. So we
Mm.
definitely are going to want something to really make sure when we get rid of that, that discount, that it's going to be a high converting website still.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining,
You're also, so just to touch on that as well, like you're at the point, Andrew, you just want as many sales as possible.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
if you don't see profit for the first year, 18
That's it.
months,
Yeah. I want the
that's
social
the game
proof.
at the start, acquire that customer base.
Yeah.
And then
Exactly. And because it's
as you bring
definitely a
in those,
product.
as you said, as you bring in different covers and new ones, and you can start to resell. But yeah,
Yeah.
that meta strategy, like as such a visual product, it's a
mm,
very meta. It's yeah, meta seems the right play for it. Pops up on the feed, goes, oh yeah, that looks cool. I'll try it out. Good price, bang. So it feels like meta's the right play at the moment, just to get those sales coming through. You just want acquisitions the game right now for you.
Yeah,
Seems
for
like it's
sure.
going the right way.
Yeah, and that was my thinking as well. Is no,
mm,
it's this is all the learning phase and building up that
Mm.
trust with the customer because
yeah,
I've only got 2 reviews on there, so I
yeah.
want to get that built up as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And so with the that equation, so the conversion rate's good. We know that. It's good right now. So where else can we look? Right now you're running a discount that's lowering the price of the products. So the AOV is a little low right now, but that's because we got a discount. We know that'll change. But the next step is going to be okay, so we have a website where we can send people to and it will convert them. Now we need to really increase that traffic, start a strategy that's going to get more traffic there, which it sounds like you are on top of this. So do you have any questions specifically about what you're doing on Meta at the moment anyway?
I think my main question is it does like the results feel a little erratic, but I
Mm.
think that's because it's still in the learning phase. So I guess like in terms of if I think like 6 months down the track, does it really ever get to a point where you know that if you ramp up your budget, you're going to actually produce the same conversion rate, or does it can it have a habit of kind of fluctuating like that ongoing? Because that's something obviously I haven't got any experience with.
Mm. There definitely will be fluctuations based on times of the year and events. Obviously, every product is different, so I'm not going to give an across the board answer for that. But yeah, depending on that, there will be fluctuations. But generally speaking, you will have a conversion rate of the store.
Yeah,
So as you increase your budget, you'll notice how that affects how the results of your conversion rate. And it's always going to be a game of as you increase your ad spend, which you do want to tactfully as you can put more budget into your ad spend if you are in a profit at that time and just see how far we can push it until it starts lowering a bit and you start getting to territories where it's not as profitable. And then we want to be like, all right, now we got to tackle the next thing again. Go back to how can we make this something that's going to convert more traffic as we put more money into it. So that's kind of how I would look at it for you. You're in a place where kind of you're going to ride that for a little bit. It seems like you're
yeah,
already seeing some motion, and we just want to see if we can take it to that next step, which is going to be more around. Honestly, for you, it's going to be more about a creative thing on the Facebook
mm,
side. So a big game of Facebook and Meta ads is going to be your
yeah,
creative in your offer. So this is going to be really, if I was to doing this a little bit backwards, usually I tackle the website first, but because of what you've told me in terms of like the performance, I think the next step is going to be like really how do we make sure that the ads are going to perform as good as possible and start where we can, putting more budget into it and seeing how a website performs. And like Chris M said, this is all data collection for you right now. We want
yeah,
to get as much traffic, as much sales. Always, we want to be break even to minimum. We don't want to be in a negative, but we want to push as far as we can to get as much info and data as quickly as possible. That way, we
yeah,
know
yeah,
what the
yeah,
next steps are. So, good spot for you anyway. But I'm going to touch on some stuff. So on the website side of things, regardless,
yep,
because there are going to be some things that can really improve the website that aren't even a big, massive change necessarily, or is just a little bit of work that can you can do over a bit of time to really see improvements. And I'm going to
hmm
touch on what you mentioned about that trust
yep.
about the business too. So I just want to get up another website. Chris, I'm having a mind blank. Delane and Paul's website, the protein
Nature's Pantry
Nature's
Supplies.
Pantry. There we go. I really like their website. Can you guys see Nature's Pantry as well right
Yep.
now?
Yep.
Yeah,
hmm
perfect. Cool. So this is Paul and Delane. We showed you them earlier, and I want to use their website as an example, and I'll go back and forth between yours. So when we land on the softstandard.com.au, now it's mainly going to be cold traffic, right? You don't have like an organic, you don't have like a lot of followers or email lists or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all going to be cold traffic, so people don't know us.
Hmm.
When we build websites for any ecom brand in Australia, like I mentioned earlier, the brand and the story is so super important to us because there are competitors out there, right? And when they come to our website, if we don't make them feel like we are the right person for them immediately, they're not going to scroll on. They're just going to go price shop us at other people. And as you spend more money on ads, this is going to become more and more important because you're going to need to be really scraping for each little percentage of conversion that you can. So you'll notice when we land on the Nature's Pantry, now these guys sell like collagen and natural like protein mixes well with your drinks. Um, like this is a very saturated industry, I bet you could imagine.
Mm.
So when they land here, we want to do this is what we call a brand messaging story or a brand communication strategy. It's kind of interchangeable, but it really comes down to the exact words that we're going to put on the website in different places. So when they land on the website, they read exactly who we are, what we do, and why they should be buying from us, not from other people. And what that mechanism is like, is it because of pricing, quality, whatever it may be, is different between each business. But we're going to make sure that we're addressing that straight away. So you basically get them to say, yes, 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 I'm in the right spot. I clicked through this ad. This is what I wanted. This is what I wanted. This is for me. This makes me feel confident. And this is building trust. That's a big deal. This is what it's all really about, is building that trust level. So a lot of people get into e-commerce and they instantly start thinking like Nike. And the problem with Nike is that they've been around for, I actually don't know how long, like decades at least. And my point is everyone knows Nike. So they go on Nike's website. All Nike has to say is just do it and you're going to buy their products. We're not
Yeah.
Nike. So we need to make sure when people land on our products that we express all these things that they might be thinking. So again, you land here in Nature's Pantry. And the first things we read are Australia's cleanest collagen and protein for active Aussie families. Your search for clean, quality, affordable daily nutrition ends here. And then we scroll. So first of all, that's the first thing they read. They know what we do. We've addressed the type of person it's for, and we go down and we do what we call brand trust statements. So this is really about why you should be buying from the brand, not so much the product, although it can intertwine a little bit. It's really about again building that trust and confidence about why are you about to make a concerned purchase, or at least thinking about it. Why is this the right place for you to be? So for them, again, this comes down to everyone has their own specific audience, and you've got to really understand who that is and do a bit of work on this. And then this is how we come up with made for active families, pure and honest ingredients, affordable family wellness, 100% clean and healthy, because these are the things that matter the most to our audience. And then if you go a little bit further below, we even go in a little bit deeper. Busy Aussie families love these. And we elevate your wellness journey with pure, powerful nutrition, and then we go into our bestsellers. So we spend a lot of time, you'll notice, not even on shopping. Whereas a lot of people, you don't quite do that, which is fine, but we don't really we miss a lot of that experience here on what we call the hero banner. Uh,
Yeah.
so, for example, for you, Paul usually has a crack at doing these live. I don't do that because Chris M actually is the head of brand messaging. He does this for a lot of clients, and I respect his work. So I'm not going to go ahead and butcher on the spot. But it's the same thing. Here we got refresh and protect. Don't spend thousands on a new couch. Our covers blend, design, and function and are easy to install. Honestly, you're actually touching on it a little bit, which is great. But I really think we've got to expand a lot and be a lot more upfront and clear about what it is that we do. Like, whereas here, refresh and protect, on its face, that first line, which is the biggest and where I'm going to look the first, doesn't tell me at all what you do.
Mm.
Of course, this is bolstered by you have a picture in the background, but we want to make sure every little bit is done properly and it all adds up.
Yeah. So if you scroll up a bit, Chris. So in terms of like what I see first, I see the soft standard, then I see obviously a giant Boxing Day sale sign. That's not always going to be there.
Mm.
But on first, like you could be selling the prints, right?
Yep.
So you could be selling artwork at this point.
Yep.
So the soft standard could be like soft standard art prints, and they go refresh and protect. Oh, what does that mean with art prints? Right, because you're not called the colorful color covers, the couch
Yeah,
cover
yeah.
company, and it's
Yeah.
really clear that it's couch covers. Even though we've clicked from an ad, we're expecting couch covers, assuming like we still want to tell people that they're in the right place. So they click on the couch, they say couch cover 10 times fast. They click on the couch cover campaign and they come to a couch cover site. That's what they're expecting. So we want to say couch covers for Aussie families, for single Aussie blokes that couldn't be bothered buying a new couch. Is it for rich people, poor people, medium people, people with a type of house people that live in a certain time? Are they people that have dogs, don't have dogs? These sorts of things will really identify the type of person this is for. Is it people that love, Aztec type design? Is it for graphic designers? Is it for design enthusiasts? All of these kinds of things play into like, this is the type of person, and then they come to the website and it speaks to them. And they go, "Bang, like I have to buy this. This is made for me."
Mm.
The other really critical part about that H1, that refresh protect, is that at the moment that's your biggest opportunity for SEO, which Anita touched on in the chat about writing blogs. You can see in the H1 here they say collagen and protein. So to Google, that signals to Google that this site is about collagen, and that's their biggest seller. Right. So at the moment, like, you're never going to rank for refresh protect because no
Yeah.
one's ever going to search those things to find couch covers. So that's another critical part of the H1 is you need that main keyword in there. So
Hmm.
beautiful aesthetic couch covers that refresh and protect your living room.
That's like the as a yeah, yeah.
Right. So it tells me a bit more about it. It has that keyword of couch covers or whatever you call whatever these are. Um,
Mm.
Probably couch covers is probably what I'd search. But again, you
Hmm.
want to go and do that research and find out where that traffic's coming from. And then this is like the art and science of headline writing. And when we do this with clients, this is why we go through a month long, multiple hour process to go through the entire brand to come back to this headline and go, who's it for? Why does it matter? What's the positioning? Why do they want to buy it? All of these sorts of things. And we get that into that's the art and science of writing a headline that's a few words long that kind of says everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's why it's such a
Yeah,
critical thing because it's that first thing that people kind of judge you by and go, yes, I'm in the right place and it's met
yeah.
my expectations.
I want to give that example again of like people at markets when they have a lot of success there. Again, it's all these things that people ask them, all these questions about the product that gets explained there, and then this a lot of the time is the wording that is missing on the website that gives that same message. So it's the same thing here. Again, we just got to be very, very clear about what we do, like Chris said, and who it's for. It's so important. I can't tell you the amount of brands that we've worked with who are already doing quite high figures, and the first thing we touched was this brand messaging because in the end their website was more of just a brochure than an
Mm.
actual what we say is that it should be a 24/7 salesperson. So if you're starting off and if you're just starting, keep in mind that rule, like your website should be your 24/7 salesperson. So if someone lands on it, they should be able to become informed, understand who you're about, what you do, what you sell, and why they should buy your product without even needing to click that little chat or get information button. But of course, that's always a nice feature anyway.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Does that make sense, mate? I want to make sure that
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it does. Yeah. I think it's you kind of get the blinkers on and because you know it yourself,
yeah,
you
yeah.
go, yeah, so that makes a lot of sense.
No, it's completely natural. And is this the first ecom business that you've run as well?
No, I've done a couple.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, yeah, this is
Cool.
the
No
yeah.
worries. Perfect. And I want to just quickly chat with the chat as well. I can't quite see the chat when I'm sharing my screen, but just want to make sure that that makes sense to everyone and think about for yourself. Like if you're thinking of a product, like what might the brand messaging be behind it? And if you already do have a product, is your brand messaging clear enough? You can answer that if you like with a yes or no, or you can just keep quiet to yourself too. I don't mind. Um, but it's okay if it's not. That's why we're here. Couple extra things I'm going to touch on in terms of how the website's built, and then I'll do a bit of a plan for you, mate, and then probably just see if I can fit in one more website for this session. So when we go straight below, so I know you mentioned you only got a couple of reviews. That's fine. If you have reviews, a lot of people make the mistake of putting them all the way down to their website. The reviews are like the first thing you can do if you have them to put right up there and say, here's trust, here's other people who have done it, who are probably thinking the same thing you thought, but they liked it. So reviews always go at the very top, guys. And when we go down, you said you got your three main products, the main collection, right?
That's the
With
only trade at
people,
the moment, yeah.
and that's fine. We explain this. We're just throwing three random products out here. Like for example, here we'll go. Um, these are like our best sellers. Shop our best sellers now. This is like what Aussie families will love. And then we go into our most. What we usually do is put at the top our best sellers or most profitable items. The things we want to push the most. So explain what it is. Like whenever you drop like a collection, say like this is the whatever the collection may be. But if it's just your best sellers or your most popular, make sure it says that very very clearly.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go to the because the homepage stuff goes for quite a bit, but I want to go straight to the product page and give a little bit of feedback on that, and it's super important. This is for this is for every single e-commerce website. Just so you know, when we build websites, we have our own. We call it a high converting framework. It's basically about 300 kind of functions and sections that we include, and we custom code a lot of stuff in. And every niche we build a website, it follows the same framework. So everything I'm telling you now is directly from this framework that we
Mhm.
use on all of our websites. So everyone here, it's consistent. It is for every single niche you want to be doing this. So this is okay for now. Obviously, if this is not once this is not the case, we want to get rid of that. And I also really recommend, guys, in terms of sales, don't do too many sales. Do sales that make sense for your business every year. Don't cheapen yourself. Again, let your branding do the work. Let the professionalism of your website do the work for you. If you're finding yourself needing to, undercut in pricing, it's because there are other issues in the business. Like obviously, this is outside of big sales like Boxing Day, but keep that in mind. So what we want to do when we land on a product page is basically we want to reinform why someone is about to make that purchase with us. So they've already gone through the homepage and learned about us and why they should buy from our brand, but now we want to get to why they should buy the product. So there's a couple things you really want to cover, and when you only have a couple products, you really want to nail these sections. Obviously, if you have like a toy store and you have thousands of products, you can't be as detailed on every page. But if you have only a few, then guys, you really want to nail this. It's going to help your business a lot. So the first thing we read is shipping returns and stuff. This should go right underneath the purchase button. So in terms of order, you want to think, okay, now they're about to click the button. Let me just reiterate that we have like guarantees and our shipping, etc. So move that further down the button. And the first thing we want is, what is this product? Again, we want to have correct keywords in there so we can rank for this page, but make it very clear and big. What is this product? So here, the thing is hydrolyzed collagen peptides. Pretty simple. Then underneath, we got reviews, and we have a bit more of a drop down on a description. Again, make it very simple for people to use, and then we have the price underneath. Here, we don't really have a description, or we have information down here. This information, you got to think like you're asking people to do a lot of reading here. Now, if they want this information, for sure, put it in a little drop down box. What you don't want to do is you don't want to stop people. You're taking up real estate here, basically, and you don't want to stop people from finding what they want to find without having to go through long things of text. You understand people are lazy, and when we build a website for any brand, our in the back of our mind, we're thinking people are stupid and they're lazy, and that's not to be mean. It's just that when we build something, if you keep that in mind, it's going to be foolproof for anyone who uses your website. So make sure they're not having to scroll and do too much reading. What I would instead do is get like the 4 or 5 key selling benefits, of which I'm sure you'll be able to come up with them and like easily for a product like this, and just put them over here. It can be like just dot points, big ticks, whatever you want to use for like your tick, but use dot points here, the 5 key benefits and features right here above the pay button. So
Mhm.
essentially they land on the page, they see the beautiful photos. Try have it so I don't have to scroll to see the photos. Have a little slider if possible. Have more people in the photos. Excuse me, if possible. You want to show lifestyle usage of your product. But yeah, they land in here, they see the product, they know the name, you reiterate that there are a few reasons they're about to buy it, you give them the price, any reviews, and then you go bang, here's the buy with ShopPay. Definitely make sure you have ShopPay activated. And if possible, have it so this would be like the ideal screen. If I was to click into your website and land on it, this would be what I want to see instantly. I don't have to scroll to be able to pay or get any more information. It's all going to be displayed here. This is what it should look like, and then obviously have the correct things that I've spoken about added there. And then below the shop button, then you can do like the trust guarantees for shipping, etc., and then any more drop down info that you want. This is going to help your product page with its function a whole lot more, which is just strictly why is someone about to buy this product.
Mhm.
Does that make sense, Andrew?
Yeah, yeah, it does.
Perfect. And you can kind of see the logic when we take people through the 3 main pages, guys, are homepage, collection page, product page. Of course, there are blog pages and things like this, which are great for long-term SEO purposes. But these are the 3 main. It's like a funnel, guys. You got to think like a funnel. Like people, all traffic's going to end up at the top, and there's going to be a few that are interested in your brand, the homepage, click to see a collection. They like something in the collection, they find a product, they click through the product, and then you get to the bottom of the funnel, and they're on the product, and they're about to make that final purchase. Those are the three main pages you really got to focus on and make sure it's very obvious where people are, what they're doing, what the product is that they're buying and selling. So again, it doesn't matter if you're just starting or if you've been running the business for a while. These things need to happen in your business, and if they do, it's going to perform way, way better. So just quickly, are there any questions in chat that I'm missing, Chris?
No, nothing at the moment. It's
Perfect.
also a lot about having the right things in the right order as well,
Yeah.
Andrew. So you might have some of the right elements here, but a lot of them are just in the wrong place.
Yeah,
As
that
we
makes
said, if you
sense.
scroll to the top, you're kind of spending time at the top with like basic shipping stuff rather
Mm.
than getting straight into it. So if you scroll up
Yeah,
to the top,
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
you kind of lead it. Like the first thing I
Yeah.
see is the free Australian post shipping, two sizes, use our side guide, like that. And like you don't need the afterpay stuff, just kind of either move that down or nuke it. So a lot of that stuff, the free shipping, just should be further down the page so that you're
yep,
above the fold. You got the buy button, you got the shop pay in there, which is awesome. Everyone should have the shop pay in there. I've got 45 things waiting to ship from shop pay since Christmas. So people just go and click that. It's a horrible purple button, but don't get too hung up on it. There's like stick that shop pay button if you don't have it. Because people shop with shop pay, Rick. That's why. Because people will just go click it and buy it, and it's got all their information. They'll check out your stuff. Also pops up on the shop pay app, so they can track all their tracking information. Pops up on shop pay. They can re-shop with you through the
yeah,
shop app. Like there's so many reasons. Yeah, stick
Yeah.
shop. It looks horrible, but stick it on there.
Yeah. It's
yeah,
like the thing people trust these days, Rick, is just shop.
Yeah, yeah.
Most customers are old folk. That's okay. Look, so anytime we give any like nothing's a monolith. Like there are going to be some things that are like Shop Pay is going to work for most businesses. You might have one where you're mainly old people and they don't use Shop Pay. That's fine. There's going to be some times where there's different ways to do things. This is how we do it most of the time. So definitely still, there's no harm in doing it. But recommend for most businesses definitely have Shop Pay. And is this you, Andrew, by any chance? I'm trying to like.
no,
It's okay. I was going to say, I want to make a point that with a brand story, there's absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, we encourage where possible to have yourself front facing on the brand if possible. You don't have to. A lot of people are uncomfortable doing that, but again, you got to think people are gonna when it comes to like you have competitors in an industry, a lot of the time they're gonna buy behind the message behind the brand and also the person behind the brand. So if you're someone who is you can put yourself out there and you might be able to connect, you might be your own audience. It's going to help them to connect to you a whole lot more. So definitely recommend doing that if possible, guys. But what I want to do now is a bit more of that plan that I spoke about. So that strategy side of things, like how are we going to focus Andrew's time? So I'm going to get up a little thing that I'm going to struggle to use, but I'll try my best on the presentation. And in the meantime, Andrew, tell me a little bit about your lifestyle. How much time do you put away each week on this business? Because I know you got your full-time gig.
um, I'm probably doing 10 to 15 hours a week at the moment.
10 to 15. Okay, that's pretty good. So you're getting in some solid hours. Uh,
I think I underestimated that.
Under, all right, cool. So we
Yeah,
got a hustler.
yeah, no, yeah, probably about 10 to 15, but I think because I was doing a lot of the prep work,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
last week has been a bit less.
yeah,
But yeah, so it's probably maybe an hour a day at the moment.
yeah. Cool. And do you think like how much of that is like working on the business rather than in the business? Like, I'm not talking about like packing orders and stuff, but like actually sitting down and thinking, how am I going to improve my business? What's the strategy, etc. Like, how much
Yeah,
time
it's
typically?
probably like half half at the moment.
Oh, cool. So we got a couple hours a week, and this is going to be for a lot of people. A lot of us, we have families, day jobs, or we're already running the business, and we don't have all these other hours to just put into the business. If you have more, beautiful. You can easily intensify your time on what I'm about to go through here. But what I really want to focus on is, guys, if we have things in our lives, again, we show people how to grow businesses around their lives, not the other way around. Otherwise, you're going to hate the journey, and you're never going to get to the end point. Um, so what we really got to do is make sure that we are careful with it, how we use our time, and make sure that it's efficient. And when I say efficient, it means we're focusing those hours that work on the business on things that are actually going to be impactful. That is the next needle to move in your business. So I'm going to share my screen. Tell me if you guys can see the
Yep.
presentation.
Perfect.
Yep, cool. All right. Now I'm not going to draw because I'm just going to botch it, but I'll kind of tell you, I'll try and annotate this for you guys. So you'll see in this diagram, we got a bit of this is our fast path plan. This is something that we do for everyone who kind of joins our community. And really, it's just how we get really clear on, 90, 180, 270, 360 days, which areas of the business are we going to focus on in order to see the most growth? And it's the kind of thing where we're like, look, if you can just, if we see such a thing where your conversion rate's terrible, but we're wasting time working on our ads, we're going to go, no, stop doing any of that. It's a waste of time. Focus on the conversion rate because it's going to get the most increase in your business, the most bang for your buck for the time that you do spend. And ultimately, that's the goal for us. So, Andrew, we're going to use you as an example here. And keep in mind, guys, everyone's going to be a bit different. So, I might do another one after this for someone who's more of a beginner. But like we mentioned before, your conversion rate is pretty decent. Right? We know there's a lot of things you could focus on. It's decent right now. So that's not what's holding us back. So that's going to be more like something that we build in the background. Okay. And we're not going to do that. This kind of comes down to your time, but I would say we could probably split the next 90 days up into 45-day halves. I would say the first 45 days, I would really address the strategy side of the business, the how are we going to get digital traffic to your website and really start nailing down, okay, what's our meta ad strategy going to look like? What's our budget that we can play with? How much are we willing to push in terms of budget? Really understanding our numbers, like what's our minimum return on ad spend that we need, like spending time figuring out, fleshing out all these numbers, and also working on creative strategy. That's going to be the next 45 days for you. After that, now that you've got this good strategy, and we are going to start seeing increases in your ad spend, and the business is going to start seeing some changes, we're going to get more data. In that meantime, the next 45 days, so still in the first 90 days, but on the back end, I would really nail like the website functionally right now. You only got 3 products. The website doesn't need a huge overhaul yet. Down the track, it will when we get to a certain level. But right now, what is really missing is that brand messaging story, that strategy there. So I would spend that other 45 days doing that. And that way, it's going to go once you've got that. Then you can go put it onto your website afterwards and start seeing an increase in your conversion rate. Then beyond those 90 days, then you're going to start looking back at your ads, seeing how it's performed, making adjustments there, potentially adding. So this is then going to be at the growing phase. We're going to be adding on different layers of ads. So maybe we want to try Google Ads a little bit. Maybe we're going to start getting more involved in email, or maybe we actually want to start looking at structurally how the website is built. So these are all possibilities in the build, but they are, and this is for the long term for 180 days. They're not things that we need to fix right now. They're not the chaos. They're not what's stopping you from making money. So these are build and for later. For the first 90 days, we're going to fix what's not working as well right now or what needs the most help. And that's going to be your meta ad strategy and then the brand communication. You fix those 2 things over the 90 days. A lot of people think this could be silly, but you can go from a brand, and like these are all just from direct examples of what we do. You can go from a brand doing anywhere 5 to 10K to a 50K within 2 to 3 months, but just by changing these things. And it's really the reason this is possible is simply because of that equation. It is your traffic times your conversion rate times your average order value, how much your product costs. That's as simple as it gets. If you improve these things, you will see increases in your sales. So that's going to be the first.
Sticking even just to add a bigger multiplier on the back of that is times trust. And trust is what Chris is talking about with the story and that brand piece that even before you do the meta ad stuff, that brand piece is going to go into the meta ads because you're creative. It's what's going to go out and find the people. So the words and the images and how you position the meta ads is what's going to drive the right people to the site. So getting real clear on that brand piece, who the customer is, what do they want, how do you help them, all of that stuff. That brand strategy piece is really going to drive the meta ad strategy as well.
Yeah, and that of course that feeds into conversion rate. So that's kind of like how that ties in. And we're gonna obviously it's going to be one of those things where you use the time that's available to work in the right thing. So look, that's 90 days. Typically, look, I don't usually go too much past 180 days. At that point, it's really going to be reassessing where the business is at, and then again seeing what are the weaknesses at that point, and then saying, okay, this is now what we got to focus on as we add more variables. So that's at least your first 90 days there, Andrew. What do you think about that? Does that make sense? Does this seem like it's
sounds good.
On what you
Yeah,
need?
and it's good to time box because I've been feeling a bit overwhelmed that I have to do everything like to get a result like right now. And I think it's it'd be good to kind of time box certain activities like you've just laid out. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah. And look, this is how we do it with everyone because again, everyone's got X amount of time and we're not here to give more homework. We're here to just make sure the time you do use is going to be efficiently used by doing strategies that already work. That's the main thing that are working right now. And B, only focusing on the things that are actually going to move the needle. Same for everyone. this is the same thing for everyone. So, well, thanks for participating in that, mate. Hopefully that was
Thank
helpful.
you. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Of course, I'll share at the end, like we mentioned before, how we can kind of just have another chat after this, moving forward. But thanks for the time. And how are we doing for time, actually?
Just after 6.
After 6. All right, I'll put it on you guys. Look, if you enjoyed that, I'm happy to do one more. Maybe we'll do it a little bit quicker, or I can start kind of winding things down. Just give me a yes if you want one more, or a no if you say, Chris, you don't know anything you're talking about, and I don't want to listen anymore. Try mine, Rick. All right, just called it out. Yes, we'll go with you. Yep. Okay, if you're happy to hang around for a little bit, Rick, let's have a look at yours. All right, I'm scrolling back. Mate, can you just link it again for me, Rick? In the chat.
rickgrant.com.au.
That's helpful.
rickgrant.com.au.
Like that, is it? Sorry.
A real estate agent sounds like a real estate agent.
All right, let me just get that up. Rick Grant. That's a real taste of allergen-friendly Australian. Oh, this is
Is Rick here? I know Rick is there. So I couldn't see your face, Rick.
The most my girlfriend friendly business I've seen so far on one of these. Let me just get the share up. And Rick, in the meantime, as I'm getting this up, do you want to come off mute, mate, and just give a bit of an introduction to yourself and the business, same as Andrew did, and we'll kind of go through all that good stuff again. All right.
Am I there? Hello?
Yes. There you
Okay.
are. How are you, mate?
Good. So, yeah, I like that last bit. That was really quite
Good to hear it.
constructive.
Yep.
Yeah, so basically, I've been in the gluten-free industry for over 36 years,
Yep.
and I had 3 bakeries in Melbourne, and I'm
Mhm.
actually they call me the godfather of gluten-free because I've been,
That's good.
I actually had the first gluten-free bakery in the world.
Yeah, well,
Really? What?
Yep. So, totally dedicated to gluten-free.
Wow.
That's not me.
Yeah. No, so I'm just getting up another website. Yeah.
All right. So basically, I had 2 strokes.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
So I had to close the stores. That was some time ago now, 13 years ago.
Gotcha.
And I had a large company that was actually, I had a partnership with them. But unfortunately, they sold out to a joint venture company. No, not joint venture, what do they call them?
Yeah, venture capitalist. No?
Venture capitalists, yeah, that's right. And I pulled out of that because they weren't my cup of tea.
Yep.
And anyway, so I thought, look, I'll just go online and start doing it. So I went online. This is my 3rd website. I've actually done this myself. So I'm not boasting. I'm just trying to, I'm not an IT person. I'm 67, so I'm not
You look great,
young.
mate.
Yeah, I'm 67 tomorrow, actually.
Oh, happy birthday.
happy birthday.
Thank you. But
You've got a voice for radio too, Rick.
I have, yeah.
If e-commerce
People say that.
goes pear-shaped.
I've got a YouTube channel as well, so I do my own YouTube.
Very nice.
But so I'm sort of trying to get there, and some of the points, you made, what we do, what do we solve, why buy our products? This is the sort of thing. I mean, to me, it's self-explanatory, but to someone just getting on my site, newly diagnosed gluten-free, or someone FODMAP, we do FODMAP, a lot of FODMAP products as well.
Yeah.
And by the way,
another FODMAP client, actually. Got quite a lot in the gluten-free, vegan. We had a vegan bakery at one point. We've got a FODMAP, a young girl that does, lady that does.
Yeah.
FODMAP slices.
FODMAP slice, okay, good. I haven't heard of her, but that sounds good. So basically, these are products, I don't make them, except for the minced tarts that I only do seasonally. But they're products that I've developed over the 36 years. They're clean label, which is one of the things I've just wrote down. Clean label, which I haven't got anywhere. They're easy to make, real taste. They're not stodgy, they're not gritty. They're the complete, that's why I say the real taste. It's a real taste. So if you eat naan bread, that's the naan bread there. It tastes like naan.
Yeah, wow. I do love naan bread.
And that's the whole thing. And you make it, that the mix makes 6. And that was another thing I was toying with. Should I be putting on, the mixers make 6 or makes 10 scones? So at $8.95, that's, 89 cents a scone.
You mind if I stop you there, Rick?
Yep.
So what you tell me is great now about the info, but we got to get you onto the right wavelength of what we need to focus on to get this business humming. But
Yes.
quickly, maybe tell me how is everything operating? How is it performing right now for you?
Okay. So basically, we started 2 years ago doing
Yep.
online only. I used to sell through IGAs, but
Sure. Yep.
they're gouging.
Yeah.
They gouge, and it's terrible. And their payment terms are 90 days, which I can't deal with that.
No, no, very hard.
So I thought, look, my wife and I run this, so we
Yep.
just do it online, um, and I oversee the development and the blending and packing.
Yep.
Um, and we're doing it. We were doing about 15,000
Yep.
a month,
Yep.
and we were getting a ROAS of 5 to 6
Mm-hmm.
on Facebook. I can't sort of get my head around Google. It's too confusing.
They're different platforms. That's
Yeah, totally different.
yeah.
I've
Yeah.
had 2 meetings with them. I still don't know what they're talking about.
Don't worry. Don't never speak to
They're just
Google.
going to help you spend your money.
The
Yeah, yeah,
Filipinos that just tell you they spend money. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So, and same with Facebook too. Actually, the guy says, "Yeah, do $50 a day,"
Stop listening.
and no,
Yeah,
it
it goes
doesn't
to
work.
everyone. Don't unless it's support for your account. Don't. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was doing 5 to 6s. Then Andromeda started, and it
Yep.
was like someone just turned a switch off.
Mm.
Like I went from getting 7, 8, 9, 10 a day to 3. I think,
Mm.
and the 3 were old customers anyway. So and basically, I was getting from 5 to 6 ROAS to 1.
Mm. Yep.
Probably
Yep.
not even get my money back. I don't know.
Yep.
And even
Probably
their
not.
ROAS, I don't think is that accurate either.
Mm.
Yeah, a couple things did change technically. Um, and what's happening now?
Well, I've turned everything off. I've turned
Okay.
Facebook off. I've turned Google off,
Yep.
and that's why I'm talking to you guys today because
Yep.
I'm struggling with Andromeda.
Hmm.
I can't understand. And then I spoke to the Andromeda, the Facebook bot. He says, "Yeah, you've got to do more creatives, more creative." Well, mate, creative what? What?
Yeah.
I mean, a
Yeah.
scone is a scone. What creative? Can I make it something else? A platypus scone? I don't know.
I'm going to touch on that actually now, and I think this will be the most helpful thing for you. So right now, and I think this is kind of how you see your ad strategy too. So right now, if I look at your website, and by the way, I just want to give you a bit of context. You give me a brand like yours that has someone with authority going back that long with a product that clearly is like very high quality. Um, that's a business that can be turned. That's ready to be turned around. It could be doing a lot better. I'll give you an example. The reason I got boutique sources up here
Yep.
is because these guys are just like a prime example of they were just a husband and wife. They were at markets. They sold steak sauces. I know one of them. I know Regan's an ex-chef. I don't know about Dan, but Regan's an ex-chef, and their steak quality sauces did really well at markets. And it's like the same thing. They had this authority in this space, and they knew they had to go online. Didn't really know how. They had some website out there, and it wasn't great. But really, for us, it was just essentially getting a website and turning it into that 24/7 salesperson that really gets all that information across.
Yes.
We
Yes.
simply did that, and this is the result. This is their website, and it looks. I think this is stunning.
Looks
And
good.
these guys, within their first like I think 4 or 5 months doing that change, they went from about 8-10K a month from just the markets to doing about 50K a month online. And
Wow.
obviously for them, it's more about a back end thing that they're solving with how to make more source, which you'll come into that issue too, as I'm sure you've experienced in the past. But
Yes.
what my point is, right now, your website, and it's probably similar to your ads, is literally it's basically just a brochure.
Yep.
And what we need to do is turn this into a 24/7 salesperson.
Yes.
That is the so I'm not going to go through the entire thing like I did with Andrew, but it's the same stuff. Right.
Right. Right.
It's
Right.
your brand story, and I know this kind of sounds fluffy like creatives with a message and brand story, but it is very true that your brand story needs to really speak to the right audience, say the right things. Like it might not be emotional. Maybe they're after a certain like a really they just want like really tasty, good and free, high quality products. We've got to make sure we're hitting all those notes. And
Yes.
when it comes across to the creatives, that's more of a are we getting their attention? Are we like putting ourselves out there in the way that they want to be seen for our brand? And this a lot of this takes work on the brand side of things and understanding your audience. And when you
Mm.
understand that thing more, then you'll be able to create better creatives that'll then help your ads. So the brand messaging and the website will basically, even though we had issues technically before, I'm sure these are issues that can be fixed in terms of the meta ads.
Yep.
But moving
Look,
forward, go
the
ahead.
big problem I've got
Yeah.
is that my customer base are gluten-free FODMAP people.
Mm.
Now, as I said to every Facebook person, the Facebook rep,
Yeah.
how do I get or target just to get the gluten-free
Yeah.
FODMAP people.
Yeah.
You're right. You put the words gluten-free FODMAP in the text, in the image, in the ad. So so when they're talking about creatives, that's what they're talking about.
Right. Okay.
So it used to be that you'd do your image, you'd have your nice scon on it, and then you'd write some text, and then in the targeting, you'd go target this to 40 plus based in New South Wales who like FODMAP and gluten-free and follow Tony Robbins and blah 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 blah. That's not how that Andromeda is. It looks at the creative, so it looks at the image,
At the
the
picture.
video, the asset, and it
Right.
goes, okay, there's a 20-year-old woman in the photo. That's the person we're going to target it to, loosely, right? So
Yeah.
it's actually when they talk about more creatives, they're talking about, do you have side by side comparison, like us versus others? Do you have videos where it's, hey, it's Rick. I started the first gluten-free bakery in the world. We do the best gluten-free. Da 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 da. Come and shop with us. So video content, literally ads that say the world's first gluten-free and FODMAP bakery, and that'll find, and because the word gluten-free and FODMAP is in text in the image and in the descriptor, it will then go and find people that are interested in that thing.
Right.
So
Right.
that's what they're talking about when they say more creative. That's how Meta works now. It
Okay.
works based on it.
So
The
if I go into
AI
Canva,
finds people that will like that type of product
yeah.
based on the image.
Right. So I put it in Canva, the picture in the Canva, and then put gluten-free, FODMAP,
FODMAP, yep, all the good
dairy-free.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. Yep.
Yeah, and
Cool.
you do your video. So also they want to see different types of content as well. So
Yes. Yes. I
video,
do videos. Yeah.
images,
Yeah.
carousels, different
Yep.
types of. And
Okay.
this is why we run our community program, and we have a meta call every week where our meta experts jump on and
Right.
run through
Right.
people's accounts and go,
I'll
this
be
is
in.
how you
I'll be
make
on that.
creative.
I'll be on
Yeah.
that.
Lovely, lovely. And like just a caveat, like the reason these calls are important is because like it's the answer isn't just like create the photo and say gluten free. It's going to be a bit deeper than that. And this is why
Yeah.
the brand messaging strategy it's so important. And for you, honestly, Rick, you need it, all three sides of that triangle. You just got to you've got the product. That
Yes.
time is the hardest thing. You've got the product, the person behind it, brand story. You got to nail your website. You got to nail the brand story. And then you actually take that brand story and then you use that to create really good ads. So then you have your
Mm.
strategy on how we're going to get more traffic to that high converting website. You do these three
Mm.
things, this website, it literally, I don't see the difference between this and boutique sources. It could turn around in a few months. If
Right.
you simply hit those three things. So I'm going to quickly go back to that, the graph before and do a quick one for you, Rick.
Hmm.
Um, so it's over here.
I'm just
Yeah,
jotting
so
down a few
while
notes.
Chris is finding that, so what I'm talking about with our weekly calls, we have a paid community called the eCommerce Circle, and we run about 8 calls a week. Or all of last year, we ran about eight calls a week. One on Google, one on Meta, one on conversion rate, one on your website, one on brand, one on email, one
Right.
on general marketing. So that's what
Right.
we do inside that Connect program.
That's
And
good.
that's where you come and go, hey, my ads aren't working. What do I do? And our experts will help you. And then you get to a point that you go, that's great. I understand it. Now I just want someone else to run it for me. And then we can
Yes, please.
partner you up with people to do it for you.
Yeah, that'd be good.
We'll jump into that shortly after this. But Rick, I just want to quickly go through similar with Andrew. This is
Yes.
how you're going to have to focus on your time. So the way this comes down to ideally like your how you look at things, and what the way I like to do it is I try to not waste people's money. So when I see a website that I don't think is built to convert, I usually say, don't worry about ads just yet. Leave the ads to be. We'll fix the creatives and those issues later.
Right.
First things first, let's focus on the platform. Let's focus on the website, make sure it's built to convert. It's got the brand messaging, it's got the right structures in place. And then when we have that, then we send the traffic, then we spend money on ads on the creatives and things like this. That way, when you spend money on traffic, it's going to a website that will actually turn them into customers and you're making money from that investment. So when cash flows, no one has abundant money like that to just use. We want to make sure it's being used effectively.
Great.
So for you, the first 90 days, same split, 45 days brand messaging, last 45 days working that website. That should be your entire focus. There's a few ways you can do that, and we'll kind of explore those in a bit in a minute. But that's going to be your focus. And then after that, once you have that high converting website, I would really, really focus on, off the top of my head, I'm not going to say Meta or Google, probably Meta for right now, but that creative side of things, like how can
Yeah.
I do better creatives? How can I use that brand messaging and start putting that budget out there again and seeing the growth in the business. So that's more of a build over time, but instantly you need to fix that website. And then after 180 days, you're just really looking back at everything and readjusting. And there'll be a lot of back end stuff that we'll have to focus on as well to make sure we're scaling properly. But yeah, look, that's going to be how it looks for you. Is that helpful to you, Rick?
It is. I mean, I'm sort of stuck because I said to you, I built the website. Like, when I say built it, I didn't build a platform. It's obviously a platform, but it's okay. But as you say, it's just a brochure. You're spot on there. So, but what I've seen so far, you're talking about Andrews as well. You know, we've got to get the next move on and actually get a website that actually tells the story, I suppose. And
absolutely,
it doesn't tell the story at all. And as you say, people don't read.
No, we've got to be very tactical about it. And you would have quite a story to tell. So
the young ones don't cook either.
What was that? Sorry?
Young ones don't cook either.
True.
So I had another number of young people say, "Oh, I love those scones. Where you can buy them?" Well, it's a mix you can buy. I have to cook it.
That's no good.
No.
Well,
so I'm obviously not telling the story.
All right, that's awesome. So I'm going to start closing this off, guys. For the day. I thank everyone for being here, and I just want to run through a couple things quickly. So if I got the right screen up, I think I do. Should I go back to the slides? Okay, slides. Just bear with me, fellas. All right, here we are. So these are the three things that we've gone through mainly today, guys. And like we mentioned, these are the pillars that anytime we work with anyone, these are the three ways that we really move levers to see growth, whether it's someone who's just starting the business and is just finding that product for the first time, or is scaling and really needs to optimize things in order to grow. It's the same three things we look at: your store, which is your conversion rate, your story, which is your brand messaging, and then your strategy, which is how we efficiently going to grow this business profitably over the next few months. And I just want to get a bit of feedback from you guys. Really, I want you to be really honest and vulnerable if you can. I know it's sometimes hard to put yourself out there, but I want you to give yourself a quick rate. Just use like a red, yellow, green on your own business, on your store, your story, your strategy, where you think you are. Obviously, green means you're strong. Red means you really think it needs to improve straight away. If you haven't done it yet, if you just started, I want you to rate yourself on how your confidence in being able to do this yourself. If you don't mind sharing that, guys. Yellow, Wanderer, no worries. Is that yellow for everything?
Yeah, pretty much, I think.
Yep, cool. So just need a bit more time to work on things. Rick, we got yellow, red, red. Awesome. Luciana, between yellow and red. Yeah, perfect.
Would help if I typed properly.
All good. We got red for David, yellow for Raylene, Andrew, orange, green. Yeah, story red, strategy orange. Yeah, cool. Yeah, thank you for sharing, guys. Yellow, all nice. And it's a good way, like this is a good way to just kind of look at ourselves. This is something we actually do with anytime we work with a client that we're about to scale. We actually break down and score every aspect of their business to see where they're weakest first. Good thing about doing this is now we know, okay, where are the most gains to be had in the business, which is super important. Yellow for store. Yeah. That makes sense. And I just got one more question for you guys. And it's an honest question. After going through the session today, do you believe that if you had all these things dialed into green, all three of them, do you believe that you could build a business that will work? Or do you believe that your business that you have currently now would work the way you want it to work, would grow profitably? Just an honest yes or no. If you don't, no problem. I understand. Yes, from Rick. Beautiful. Absolutely. Yep. Perfect. Lovely. If no, then I need to learn how to present a little better, I think. But I appreciate you guys coming and spending your time here. So this brings me kind of to the pointy end. Like I mentioned at the start, guys, and I did speak to a few of you on the phone as well. Obviously, we do a lot here, and I try to make sure you walk away with a plan that you can use for your own business. But ultimately, we run two businesses. One is a full-scale web dev agency where we build Shopify stores, and we also have what's called the eCommerce Circle. This is our private mentoring community where we work with Aussie-based business owners and New Zealand as well, and we basically mentor them to grow their businesses. And I want you guys to understand that there's a lot of different levels of business. And someone actually asked me on the phone today, like, how much is it going to be to work with you guys? And I was like, to be honest, we help everyone from starting from scratch all the way up until scaling. And what that means is there's a lot of different ways that we have to help different people. So really what that means is we can work with us for as little as $97 a month and get access to all this information, or you can work directly with us and then that's in the thousands of dollars. Obviously, it depends what kind of work you're after. And for this reason, what I actually want to do is instead of pitch you something right now and say this is good for everyone because it's not really true. I want to do a fast path plan with everyone individually, and even those who I did speak to, maybe get a little bit more specific on the action side on how we can help you. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to leave you a link to a fast path plan, and this is going to ask you a couple questions. And in these questions, it's just going to give me an idea of where you're at. Probably go through a couple of things I might have already asked you today, which I apologize for, but it's just helpful knowledge for me. And this means when we jump on our call, we're going to have all the information ready to go and we can just get straight into the good stuff on what we need to focus on the business and then what is the best thing that we can offer you to get you to that result and that you're after the most. So if that sounds good with you guys and you're interested in having that chat and just figuring out what our next steps are, I am going to leave a link for you. And I'll just grab it here for the questionnaire. So dropping it now. So there's a link. Go ahead, open it up. Make sure you got it saved. Go through, answer the questions, and then once once questions are answered, myself or Roxy from my team, we're going to reach out and just basically organize a time that works for both of us to jump on a Zoom, most likely, to just see what the next steps are. So with that being said, guys, I really hope that was helpful. Do I have any questions lingering around, guys? Anything you want to clarify? I've got another 5 or so minutes. I'm happy to just sit here and chill and clarify anything. No worries, David. Thank you for coming along. Rick, was that fine? That you're good to do the thing? Andrew, thank you, mate. Hopefully see you on one of those. Looks like everyone's kind of looking at their keyboards and the questionnaires, which is good. No worries, Andrew, again. Yes, perfect, Rick. Awesome. Charlie, I see you there. Hitesh, you're looking forward to. Thank you, Luciana. Thank you for jumping in. Candice, how was that? Well, that's Candice. I know we've already chatted a lot. Images better or video? That's how long is a piece of string type video, mate? We'll kind of go through that in our call when you book one.
Yes is the answer. Images and videos are better.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Brand messaging is better. Do better brand messaging, do that process, and then your creatives will be better, still or video. No worries, Raylene. Andrew Halliday, hopefully that was helpful for you, mate. All right, lovely. Well, thank you so much, guys. Hopefully I'll speak with you soon. Don't forget, save that link if you haven't already. Fill in those questionnaires, and we'll be in touch, and we'll start cracking on with this business and hit your goals for 2026.
That's very good.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks for that. Cheers.
See ya.